Hello, welcome to coming to my channel. I want to talk to you a little bit about a Remington 1100. I've actually got 4 of them. I will be doing on, the breakdowns are going to be exactly the same. I know they've been all over YouTube, but, this is the way I choose to do it, whether or not you choose to. Well, this Remington 1100 is, it's actually my father's old tournament rifle. Back in the day, my father used to be a skeet shooter. He used 12 gauge, 28, 410, and I believe 20. So, well, I've actually gone as far as to do some research on these, and as well as the other 3 I have. Well, this one I have dated back to, I believe it's August of 1979. Yep, August of 79. Sorry, I'm actually looking at the date codes. Now, you have, this is a Remington 1100LW. If I flip it over, or actually bring it up a little bit, you might be able to see if I zoom in. Yeah, that should give you a clear enough shot. I mean, you can see that the engraving on it is still very proficient. It hasn't worn off. It's a very nice 410. Now this thing will only run the 2.5 inch shells. It will not run the 3 inch. Well, this is also a Skeet-T. For those of you who don't know what that means, well, I'll get into classifications on it. The Skeet model, or Skeet-A, is a field grade. It's a grade that almost anybody can use, just to go out, screw around with. The Skeet-B came with an A grade wood. It's just a different type of wood. The Skeet-C is a AA fancy wood. The Skeet-D is a AA or AAA wood with engraving over the top of the receiver. So that would be right here. The back portion of the barrel and the trigger guard, so that would be over here and here. Now these triggers were worked on, so I will fully admit that. The Skeet-F is a premier grade, which is heavily engraved with AAA fancy wood. And then the Skeet-T. Now remember, that's what this one is a tournament grade. According to Remington's historical people, all of the skeet guns had different drop and comb. And apparently they are backboard barrels with length force combs. All of the same Suffolk information applies to the other trap guns. Well, I figured I'd also get into a little bit of disassembly and cleaning. This thing hasn't been shot for about a year. So I'm going to be doing this to the other 1100s, and I'll do a video on them as well. Well, first thing you want to do is always check to see if it's unloaded, which by the barrel being back, we know it is. Well, next thing you're going to want to do, come up over here and unscrew the cap. of your forearm. Now this one does have a counterweight on it, so you know, yours may not, mine does. You know, my father back in the day, like I said, used to do a lot of tournaments back in the, I believe he said the early 70s to early 80s he did. Well, now that you've taken off this, you can take off your forearm. Now, this one, as you can see, it is a very nice grade of wood. You know, all the lines on it, you could see the grain. The checkering is still very proficient. It hasn't been smoothed off. So, I'm going to set that someplace safe so that this way it won't get scratched. The next thing you're going to want to do is actually take off your barrel. And to do that, all you're going to want to do is just come up over here. And your barrel comes off like so. Again, I'm going to set that someplace safe for right now because I don't need it dropping. Now the next thing you're going to want to do is come up over here. You have a gasket, which is right here. And it's just going to fly off. Now from time to time you are actually going to have to replace these because they will actually dry rot. Next thing you're going to want to take off is the two caps. So that's half the disassembly right there. Next thing I always do is come up onto the top of the bolt. You have the charging handle, which just pulls off. It's actually held in just by tension on the top of the bolt, or top of it. So you could just set that aside. So next thing I always do is you're gonna have to lift up on the loading gate, and on the same side as the charging handle there's going to be a little lever that you're going to have to push up. That comes off like so. That comes off like so. This thing is almost as stripped as I want to take. The next thing I want to do is go into my little toolbox and pull out a punch. Now, I know a couple of guys can take them out by hand. I don't like to. So, I'm just going to get a little bit bigger of a punch than my smallest one. Getting a non-marring hammer. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is come over here. Right up on top of the bolt, or right up on top of the trigger guard, there's going to be two punches. A little bit of hitting will actually take them out. And you can see that they have been pulled out just ever so much. You know, you can see it a little bit better over here where you got your two pins out. Now all you got to do is put it someplace safe or someplace a little bit comfortable and just pull them out. Now every once in a while you will actually have to take like a pair of pliers or something, because after a while, now because I know these things haven't been worked on, and well, since I actually took them apart, they haven't been disassembled in a while. So, you know, they could require a little bit of force. Okay, that's one. That's two. Now your firing setup is actually removed. Now, as you can see, this one has been very heavily used. You can actually see that a lot of the metal is in the white, so it was very heavily used. Doesn't mean it's not going to function, but you know, this is just the steps that I take. So now all of these parts are going to go into an ultrasonic, which I have sitting over here. So everything except for these. So, you know, this is only what I choose to do. You know, when I got them, I stripped them completely down. I made sure everything was in good working order before I put them back. And before I sealed them up. Well, now that that's done, now this will probably be a two-part series. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come on over here. Now inside here there is also a little T-bar, which you will actually have to take a pair of pliers to. And pull them out. Now, that's your little T-bar. And that sits right inside the receiver. And this actually acts as part of the charging unit. So we'll get to that in a minute. Now the one thing I always do, you know, what you use to clean your weapons is your prerogative. I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm not saying it's right. But this is what I choose to use. You know, a lot of times I've heard people say, well, let it sit. That's the one thing I like about Ezox, is that it actually works really quick. So, yeah, you can tell it's been a while since it's been disassembled. So, all I'm doing is just cleaning the inside of it. And I'm also wiping off the top of it. You know, any place where it comes into contact, I'll show you. Like I said, it'll probably be a two-part series, you know, considering it's already 13 minutes in. So, I bet you it will be. But, you know, it'll actually be worth it because I can actually give you a little bit more information. So, now that that has been cleaned, what I always do is I just go over it a second time. And this time, what I always do is I spray down this, because this will get dirty. You know, next video will actually contain the barrel cleaning. You know, I'm going to put the bolt, the T-handle, the pins, the firing mechanism, or the fire control, I should say, and I'm also going to put the gaskets in the ultrasonic, get them a little bit cleaned up. So, now I hope you guys are enjoying the music. It is actually Hammerfall. It's actually off their newest album, Infected. So, you know, I am a metalhead. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be, but, you know, it's the type of music I choose to listen to. You know, if you stick around on the channel long enough, you're going to hear a lot of different music. You're going to probably end up hearing some jazz, some blues, rock, and country. So, I don't really listen to a lot of rap, but I will listen to it on occasion. Well, I'll see you in the next video.